guys, and welcome to another episode where I walk you through how to get the achievements in StarCraft 2. This time we're in the Legacy of the Void campaign, and we're doing the mission Dark Whispers. It's actually one of the three prologue missions, but I go ahead and throw it in with the Legacy of the Void missions campaign because it fits right in with that story. The achievements are going to be Dark Whispers. Complete the mission. Complete the mission. Massive aggression. Destroy 30 Zerg units during the mission. And World of Warcraft. I see what you did there. Destroy 6 Terran units as they warp in on normal. This one's a pretty straightforward, basically run and gun mission. Try to stay out of the Zerg's way because they will decimate your force. You don't need to worry about putting down too much defense at the base at first because your units can basically mop up anything that shows up. Other than that, it's just kind of just build up a good enough force to move forward and take things out and stay out of Kerrigan's way because she's kind of cranky right now. Also, because this was before they did all the updates to the protoss, Chrono Boost is a energy-based ability, so make sure you keep using that ability. Also, I'm just happy I get to play Protoss finally. This is my jam right here. I like playing Zerg and Terran, but I think I like the Protoss the best. The only problem with Protoss is they take a while to get rolling because all their units are very expensive. They have a very high supply cap on them. Only one of their units, two of their units, the Zealots and the Probes, don't require Vespian gas. So they are very resource-heavy units, and the upside to that is they are very tanky units. They can take a lot of damage. They have regenerating shields. They don't have a lot of health, but their shields are what really beefs them up, because if you bash their shields down to 1 on the shield, but you don't get past the shield, you've dealt no damage to that unit, and that shield will regenerate back to full. The Zerg have a similar thing because their units heal over time, but it's a very slow, progressive heal, whereas the Protoss's shield is actually pretty quick in regenerating, so it's actually pretty fun to use. Yeah, let Kerrigan clear out most of the Terran forces in your path. This way, it's you don't have to sacrifice as much units because, like I said, right now you're dealing with Protoss and they're very resource heavy, and it's before the actual campaign picks up, so you don't have any of the campaign gimmicks that the others do. Like, oh, my Terrans cost, half Vespian and, warp out. I mean, they produce twice as fast or something like that. Or my Queens from my hatchery auto heal instead of having to do single target heal. That's my main thing, is the Queens from the campaign and the Zerg campaign. They have an auto AoE heal, whereas the Queens in, like, if you're playing multiplayer or anything like that, their heal is a single target heal. It's kind of annoying, really. Yeah, go ahead and basically for this mission I decided to go with 2 warp gates and 2 robotics facilities, and that's pretty much all you'll need for this mission. Here in a second you'll be able to move out after Kerrigan rolls through again, because she'll mop up basically the majority of the forces in front of you. Also, another thing that's different about the campaign versus the prologue, I don't know if it is, but the stalkers from the campaign, when you blink with them, their shields will regenerate. They have an enhanced regeneration for a short amount of time. So it's really effective if you send your stalkers in to a group of people, group of units, and then about 2 seconds after you engage, blink them forward, so their shields will start regenerating quicker. Also, blink's really helpful if you need to get away, but I'm no good at getting away because I'm balls to the wall, sacrifice everything, but I think I'm playing because I lost my army. Yeah, I'm kind of getting a wide spread on the way I'm putting up my pylons, because the way the protoss work is they can only build, like the Zerg, they can only build in what's called the power fields. The Zerg can only build on creep, and the thing about creep is it expands from buildings you build, and it just slowly creeps out. The power fields only come from the pylons, so you have to place them kind of in a spread pattern, so this way you get the most out of your energy usage, and you can place your buildings down in random locations. Also, can I hijack that little, like, miner bot back there so I can get some more minerals going? Once you have a good spread on your power fields, it's okay to double up on your pylons. I think you start this mission with a forge, but if you don't, go ahead and build a forge, because they're required to build photon cannons, and once your army moves out of your base, they'll be needed to protect your base. Yeah, like I said, on this, wait for Kerrigan to set up her second base, which is what was beyond that wall on the right, and basically that way you don't have to worry about the Zerg crossing your path and wiping out your army. I do like the Zealots because they have that charge ability, and they do a lot of damage. They don't have very much health, and I think their shields are the weakest out of the units, but they're the cheapest army unit, because they only cost 100 minerals. Then they require no Vespian gas, which is, like, awesome. The only thing I wish I had in this mission was the sentries, because they act as little heal bots. As with the queens and the medics, healing is important. Yeah, make sure you clean up those barracks. You don't have to, but it's good to do so because it keeps you from having random units pop up just behind your forces. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I went a little bit cannon heavy over there, but eh. I just don't want anything coming to attack my base. Yeah, as soon as you have enough resources, go ahead and build the other requirement of the robotics facility. This way, you can start building your colossi, and they're very useful units when dealing with the Zerg. Hell, they're very useful units when dealing with the Terrans, too. The only downside to the colossi is that they are tall enough that units that can only target air units can target the colossi because they stand tall enough that the air-to-air units can attack them. You're about to get reinforcements. Yay! More zealots. Their zealots are kind of shiny. Oh, I do have sentries. Oh. Letting Kerrigan move her forces out before I decide to do anything. Also, make sure you don't trap your probes. I've done that way too many times, trapping a probe, trapping a SCV or a drone or something like that. Well, it's harder to trap drones because they turn into units usually, so usually when they go to work on a building, they're not there. And also make sure you pick up, after you've cleared out these units, make sure you pick up all the supply crates because you need them. Now, if I was playing multiplayer, I would not do this, just because it invites, like, basically people to come in, and they could really hurt you on supply if you do that. Basically, if you're facing Terrans, all they gotta do is set up a couple of siege tanks, and they can take out a bunch of your pylons at once. So it's like, oh, wow, I'm, like, 50 below supply cap now. Oh, great. Also, the thing I do like about the protoss is they have probably the best flying units in the game, with the carriers and the void rays. If you're playing multiplayer, you can also use the what are they called? The motherships, which those are really fun. Unfortunately, you don't get to use those in the campaign, which is like, meh. I love how I get bored and just start blowing up the samples. It's like, you don't get to practice on these guys. Better dead than in your hands. Amon. Yeah, just let Kerrigan's force moves by. I should have some colossi coming. Once they get here, we're gonna assault this base that's in here. But until then, we're going to go ahead and move forward just a little bit. See if we can't clear out this next area. That generator right there, once you destroy it, it extends a bridge between your home base and the main platform, so you don't have to travel all your units all the way around. I decided, just go ahead and pick up these reinforcements over here, because you'll need them for assaulting the Zerg base. Yay, my Colossi have finally showed up. Yay! And I got my reinforcements. Yeah! Alright. 4 Colossi and my reinforcements. Yeah, let's just let her go by. We can wait. I don't need to lose those Colossi as soon as I made them. It never fails, no matter which group I'm playing, I'm always supply capped. It's where I like the, I wish that when you're playing, like, they had a free-for-all multiplayer form, where you got to use your, like, abilities from the campaign in multiplayer games. Like, in the Zerg campaign, you can have a choice of, overlords, or overseers that morph instantly, or, drones that produce 2 instead of 1, and then on the Terrans, you have whenever you build a supply depot, instead of just regularly building it, since you've studied the protoss, you drop them in from orbit, which is really, really nice. Oh yeah, when you're assaulting this base, it is a good thing to have a lot of sentries, because they have a secondary ability besides their healing ability that is a shield, and it really helps when dealing with the Zerg, because it prevents a lot of physical damage to them. Run away! The baneling's trying to get you! No, no, no! Yay! And that took care of the hive, or destroyed the 30 Zerglings, I should say. War is here! Yeah, if I'd thought about it, I'd been blinking my stalkers more, but I guess I didn't think about it this mission. Go down here. More supply crates! Yay! The poor Zerg. Like poking and prodding the dang thing. It's like, yes, I understand they're like psychopathic killing machines, but you don't have to become a psychopathic killing machine to deal with the psychopathic killing machine. Oh, I just love watching the, like, Colossi deal with, like, units, because it looks like you're using, like, the units from War of the Worlds, just, like, laser beam people. This one, yeah, move into that pylon as fast as you can. Try to pick up those units. Don't bother with the supply crates until after they're gone, because I barely squeaked by with killing six of the Terrans warping in. So as soon as you come into this room, go to your right. I didn't see it at first, so that's why I went to the left, and I almost didn't get that achievement for this mission. that or a conga line. Sorry. Going to get the last thing of reinforcements. Well, going to end the mission actually, but engage. Hybrid. Yeah, I kind of forgot about the shields. That's why I didn't start using them until I started assaulting the hive clusters. But they are very, very effective in protecting your units. Especially your colossi. Your colossi are basically giant glass cannons. They do a lot of damage, but they can fall really quickly if they don't have support. And there you go. That's how to do the mission. Thank you for watching, and if you like what you saw, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.